Do you remember that magical moment on a Christmas morning, rubbing the sleep from your eyes, heart pounding with excitement as you dashed toward the tree to see what Santa had left behind? The scent of pine needles, the glow of multicolored lights, and maybe the faint hum of Bing Crosby or Brenda Lee playing on the radio. Back then, the most cherished treasures came wrapped in shiny paper and ribbons boxes that might contain a G.I. Joe and Easy Bake Oven, or perhaps that coveted Mattel toy your friend wouldn't stop talking about. So let's dust off the tinsel and take a trip back to the 1960s, a time when toys didn't beep, buzz, or need batteries to bring a smile to a child's face. Welcome, friends, to a cozy stroll down memory lane. Today, we're stepping back over 60 years to relive the wonder of Christmas mornings during the 1960s, when the Sears Wish Book was our window to dreamland and department store toy aisles seemed to stretch on forever. We're counting down 10 of the most unforgettable toys every 1960s kid hoped to find under the tree. These weren't just gifts, they were badges of childhood, tokens of the times and symbols of the joys that defined a generation. Whether you were the kind of kid who loved action figures, dolls, crafts, or just a good old racetrack set, there's something in this list that's sure to spark a smile. And as we go through the list, feel free to share in the comments. Which of these toys did you get or wish you had? Did you ever trade toys with your siblings or maybe sneak a peek under the tree a little early? Let's begin with one of the biggest toy sensations of the decade. Back in 1964, a toy soldier changed the way we played forever. Hasbro's G.I. Joe wasn't just a doll. It was an action figure, a term created just for him, and every boy wanted one under the tree. Standing 11, 5 inches tall, with 21 points of articulation, Joe came dressed in meticulously detailed military uniforms, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps. He had dog tags, weapons, and vehicles, and suddenly, backyards became battlefields, and living rooms turned into training camps. Do you remember the original box? It featured G.I. Joe in heroic poses, promising hours of adventure. And let's not forget that famous fuzzy hair and beard look they introduced in the late 60s. The idea was inspired by the popularity of war movies and shows like Combat and the Rat Patrol, which were big hits on TV. At just $4 in 1964, about $40 today, Joe wasn't cheap. But he was worth it. And once you had your first G.I. Joe, the mission wasn't over. Hasbro smartly sold uniforms and gear sets separately, paratrooper packs, jungle survival kits, and even a talking version with a pull string that said things like, "Mission accomplished." Were you the kind of kid who kept Joe in pristine condition, or did your figure end up missing a boot and stuck in a shoebox jungle? One thing's for sure, Joe was more than a toy. He was part of the family, joining us in the sandbox, the bathtub, and even under the dinner table when no one was looking. Did you ever get the Adventure Team headquarters? That big orange and brown vinyl playset was the holy grail by the end of the decade. With its control panel's escape hatch and working periscope, it turned any room into a covert ops space. And let's not forget, this was a time before screens ruled the day. G.I. Joe sparked imagination, storytelling, and friendships. We built narratives with our buddies, assigned roles, and acted out scenes that could last all afternoon. Think back, was Joe your favorite? Did he survive every mission, or did he have a few battle scars along the way? Now, if there's one toy that made the whole house smell like a bakery, it was the Easy Bake Oven, introduced by Kenner in 1963. With its turquoise blue body, faux stovetop dials, and a working oven powered by a simple 100-watt light bulb, it felt like magic. Do you remember sliding those tiny cake pans into the little oven chamber and waiting oh so patiently? As that warm, delicious smell began to drift through the room, those pre-mixed chocolate and vanilla cake packets didn't just bake treats, they baked memories. Kenner sold over 500,000 ovens in the first year alone. It was a smash hit, and not just for girls. Even the most mischievous little brothers couldn't resist baking and eating those tiny cupcakes when no one was watching. The original Easy Bake Oven cost about $15 in 1963, a hefty price tag, but for many families, it became the main Christmas present under the tree. And let's face it, part of the joy was in the anticipation. You had to wait for your treat to cook and cool, and that made it all the more satisfying. In those days, playing house wasn't just pretend, it was practice for life, and the Easy Bake Oven felt like a real appliance. Even the packaging mirrored grown-up kitchen ads with neat little instructions, accessory packs, and refill mixes that had to be rationed carefully. Do you remember your favorite recipe? Was it the chocolate fudge cake, or maybe the pink frosted cookies? Some kids even got creative, mixing their own batter or trying to sneak in real chocolate chips from the pantry. The toy was also part of a bigger cultural moment. In the early 60s, shows like Leave It to Beaver and Father Knows Best portrayed tidy kitchens and cookie-cutter families. The Easy Bake Oven fit perfectly into that world where kids could imitate the grown-ups they watched every evening on their black and white TVs. And the thrill of cooking your own dessert without mom's help, that was a kind of independence we all treasured. Next up, two plastic pugilists who delivered knockout entertainment all through the decade Rock'em Sock'em robots launched by Marx Toys in 1964. If you had these under your Christmas tree, you probably remember the thrill of sending Red Rocker's fist flying straight into Blue Bomber's chin and seeing that spring-loaded head pop straight into the air. The concept was simple, but endlessly fun. Two players faced off each, controlling their robot with two joysticks, one to punch left, one to punch right. The goal, knock your opponent's block off, literally. Priced at about $8.99, it was affordable and highly interactive, making it one of the most asked-for toys of the mid-60s. The brightly colored boxing ring, the satisfying clack of the gears, and that telltale pop of the losing robot's head, these were sounds that defined a generation of basement battles. Do you remember who always won in your house? Was it a battle of siblings, friends? Or maybe Dad liked to sneak in for a round or two after dinner? The toy arrived right when boxing was still one of America's favorite sports. Muhammad Ali, then still. Cassius Clay had just stunned the world by defeating Sonny Liston in 1964, and kids across the country were mimicking the footwork and jabs they saw on TV. Rock'em Sock'em robots let us become champions in our own right. And unlike some toys, it never seemed to break. You could bang on those robots for hours, and they just kept going. Even better, there was no setup. Just place it on the floor, and the fun began instantly. No batteries, no instructions needed, just good old-fashioned button-mashing mayhem. Who was your go-to robot, Red Rocker or Blue Bomber? Did you have a special move, or were your matches more of a button-smashing frenzy? These kinds of toys captured something timeless: friendly competition, laughter, and the joy of having something you could share with your siblings or neighbors. There was no screen to stare at, no online rankings, just the sweet satisfaction of knocking someone's block off on Christmas morning. Before dolls had computer chips and Wi-Fi, they had something far more magical: a pull-string voice box. And no doll captured little hearts quite like Chatty Cathy, released by Mattel in 1960. With her bright blue eyes, button nose, and soft blonde curls, Chatty Cathy was more than just a doll. She was a companion. When you pulled that string on her back, she could say things like, "I love you. Please take me with you. Let's play school." To a 6-year-old in 1961, that was practically science fiction. Chatty Cathy's voice was actually recorded by June Foray, the same actress who voiced Rocky the Flying Squirrel. Mattel kept updating her wardrobe too, offering everything from pajamas to party dresses, so Cathy could match her owner's day perfectly. The original model cost around $8, a significant gift back then, but she often came wrapped in starry paper and topped with a big bow, ready to be the centerpiece under the Christmas tree. Back then, dolls weren't just toys. They were practice for nurturing companions for imaginary tea parties and co-stars in living room plays. And Chatty Cathy's voice made everything feel more alive. Did you ever pull her string too many times and make her sound like she had a sore throat? Or maybe you had to hide her from your younger sibling who wouldn't stop tugging that cord. Later editions of Cathy even had different hairstyles and skin tones as Mattel began expanding representation, a quiet step forward in a decade of change. Do you still have yours? Some viewers might even remember replacing the pull string or trying to fix her voice box with help from Dad and a screwdriver. One thing's for sure: when Chatty Cathy was unwrapped, she didn't just talk. She started conversations that could last all day. By the end of the decade, something sleek, fast, and very loud. If you stepped on one barefoot, zoomed onto the scene, Hot Wheels launched by Mattel in 1968. These weren't your average toy cars. Hot Wheels featured wild paint jobs, flashy chrome engines, and real racing speed thanks to low-friction axles and that signature orange track. The first release included 16 cars known as the original Sweet 16. Favorites like the Beatnik Bandit Diora and Custom Camaro became instant classics. And at just $1 per car, they were a perfect stocking stuffer or something you could save up your allowance for. But the real excitement came with the track sets, twisty loops, gravity drops, and even motorized boosters that made your cars fly across the floor. You could attach the track to furniture books or the family dog briefly, before Mom noticed, and create your own Daytona 500 right in the den. Hot Wheels reflected a growing love for muscle cars, speed, and style in late 60s American culture. As the auto industry boomed, every kid wanted their own garage of miniature hot rods. Did you have a favorite car? Did your parents ever find track pieces in the most unexpected places, under the couch, stuck to the window, maybe even in the bathtub? Even now, collectors treasure those early models, especially the Redline wheels, thin red stripes on the tires that signaled a true original. Hot Wheels were more than toys. They were a window into the future of speed, design, and self-expression. And for many kids in the 60s, they started a lifelong love of cars. So, there you have it, 10 toys that lit up living rooms and brought joy to millions of children during the 1960s. From battle-ready G.I. Joes to sugar-sweet easy-bake ovens, from chattering dolls to screaming fast Hot Wheels, each one helped define a childhood filled with imagination, wonder, and just the right amount of mischief. Back then, we didn't need apps or screens to be entertained. All we needed was a pull string, a plastic track, or a good dose of creativity. These toys taught us to build, to dream, and to play, sometimes alone, sometimes with siblings, but always with heart. Of course, times have changed, and in many ways, for the better. Toys today are more inclusive, more educational, and often more accessible. But there's still something special about those simple joys from decades past. What was your favorite Christmas toy from the 60s? Drop a comment and let us know. We'd love to hear your stories, whether it was the one gift you always wanted or the one you finally got. And if you enjoyed this trip back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who remembers the joy of a good toy catalog and a well-tied bow. Until next time, keep those memories warm and your hearts young.